You a message of somebody who just sent me a message like yesterday, but I don't know whether they'd want me to share it.
We can keep it anonymous.
Yeah, we'll just keep it anonymous. But they were saying how they. Oh yeah, let me just find the message and then
Yeah.
open it up for you. Hold on, 1 minute. Because I posted a video that was talking about people who kind of at times isolate themselves just because
Yeah.
of the lack of maybe social skills and stuff.
Yeah.
But now for this guy, he sent me a message. Of course, we'll keep it anonymous.
Yes.
But I'll just show you his message because he was just always wondering how I just keep interacting with different people all the time and everything.
Yeah.
But I told him it's just because I do it every other day.
Again, just practice.
It's just like you said,
Yeah.
fake it till you
make it literally. Yeah.
because your body, mind and everything just starts adapting to that kind of
Yeah.
environment, behavior
Yeah.
and social skills as well. So here's his message. Maybe you can read it for listeners.
So he says the isolation ruined a part of my life, and he's
Mhm.
talking about video games.
Yeah.
If it ruins more than it is up, if it ruins more, that is up to me. Easier
Mhm.
said than done. I would likely still be awkward and keep to myself instinctively, but knowing this, I will have to actively push myself out of this state. Video games are most definitely a catalyst, but at the end of the day, it's just a game. My reaction to it is what caused the isolation and the ruin. What's lost is lost. Having to start dating at 30. So yeah, no, I mean.
Yep.
It's so interesting, right? Because again, I'm someone who, okay, truth be honest, I don't know. Watching TV for me, sometimes. So that's the thing. Sometimes overwatching TV for me feels like I'm just wasting time, not being
Yeah.
productive. And
Yeah.
even video games, I get how in short amounts of time it's constructive. You need your downtime, your fun, your relaxation, right?
Yeah.
But so my boyfriend actually is a very, very avid gamer. So
You're in a relationship? We'll get to that.
yes, I am. But so he's open about it. But he used to play. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing.
Just share, man. Just share.
But yeah, so he used to play World of Warcraft, and I think he has over a year of online game time.
That's crazy.
He literally has lived over a year in this game. And so I've talked to him about it, and I think he's quite an intelligent person.
Yeah.
And he has a very interesting take on it. So I think, so I disagree with people who let themselves get to that level where, they're 30 and they're like, oh my God, I haven't interacted with people.
And which is a lot of people if
I
you
know,
think about it.
It's shocking to
Yeah.
me, but it does happen. So I think that, obviously I think most boys up to a certain point in time get absorbed in video games, even some girls, of course. Like Radhika and I, in fact, our childhood summers were spent entirely playing Sims. All Radhika and I would do for, oh God, no, the whole day, Radhika and I would just play Sims. And I mean, I don't know. So Sims is our little bonding. So I do
Okay.
get the whole gamer mentality because
Yeah.
I remember I used to completely live in a Sims world for a few, days or weeks at a time. But I would always return back to the real world.
Yeah.
Right, and growing up, you're allowed some sort of form of escapism. And I talked to Adam, who's my boyfriend.
Oh, his name is Adam.
Oops, accidentally spoken, but yes. But yeah, so he says that video games for him actually taught him conversational skills because he'd play it online with people.
Oh, and you talk to people.
Yeah, and so he
Okay.
talked to people, and he is so strategic. Oh my goodness! If ever I want to make a game plan,
Yeah, yeah.
a military style of point A to point B, and everything that could go along the way, and
Yeah.
mitigate the damage, and he is so strategic, and he completely credits those skills to video games because it taught him to think ahead, to plan, to really strategize, analyze a situation. He was saying how he would lead his team of 6 people, and they would be 30-year-old guys, and he would be 15, and he'd be leading them, So for some people, video games are really constructive, and in fact, study has shown that people who play video games are better at driving, for example, because they have better reflexes and
Oh, yeah.
and
They're
motor
attentive and-
skills.
yeah.
Yeah, so there are some positives, but again, with too much of a good thing can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
So for some people, if video games and that virtual reality becomes your whole world, then I think that becomes problematic, right? Because that's secondary. This is
Yeah.
the real world.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think it's just, again, reprioritizing your life and thinking that, this world is where I'm going to have to interact and foremost be in. And even if you have to look at the world as like a video game mentality, just to get into it. Like, I
Yeah.
know some people who are so confident on a screen and on video games, right? And then they
Yeah.
get into the real world and they're nervous, right?
Like our friend over here.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to him?
Again, just start slow, like if you're recognizing it's a problem, cut it out. If you can't cut it out completely, at least moderate it, mitigate it,
Yeah.
work within a certain time frame of like, don't play video games for hours on end. If you want to come home from work and relax slightly, do it, but then start to develop people skills,
Think of what you can actually learn from that, because definitely even from what you've described, like how you're talking about like your boyfriend with all those skills that he picked from the video game,
Yeah.
plus the main score,
Yeah.
which is
Now he's like an incredible conversationalist.
no, that's not the main score.
The main score?
Yeah, think it's the main score.
I'm
Besides all these skills and everything that he learned from video games,
maybe
it's
just.
very easy. The answer is very easy.
Oh man, you're gonna have to give
It's
it to
obvious. Come on, pick it. Just think about it.
me.
What's the biggest score for him?
Oh, me?
Of course. There you go. Yes, and the biggest score is you.
Yeah, true.
Like if he managed to just interact with you and just get on that mind space
Well, yeah, true.
where you
actually.
liked him for.
Yeah, who he is. And,
Yeah.
And in fact, so like I said, I never ever used to play video games, minus Sims on occasion. But again, it had
Yeah.
to be with someone.
Yeah.
And in fact, now it's become our bonding time. So like when I get home from work,
Yeah.
and he gets home and we both had a long day, and just like a way for us to like laugh and bond is,
Yeah.
we'll play video games together.
Really.
And I mean, he knows I can only stand like maybe half an hour. But even then, for half an hour, we enjoy, we bond. I'm terrible at these games, and I know in the beginning he would get frustrated because,
Yeah.
if someone's so used to doing it and they play so well, and I
Yeah.
just keep getting hit and I die after 30 seconds, so first I could see like he'd get slightly, like, oh, come on, like just play. But then he was like, he completely set that aside and he was like, no, it's our bonding time. You have fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, now like it just shows like even if you're a hardcore gamer, like he has lived over a year in a video game, like but through that he's applied those skills into the real world.
Into the real world.
And so yeah, I mean like now we've been going out for a couple of years. I mean we're pretty serious. And yeah, so I mean gaming can be both good and bad, but then it's just make sure you know when it becomes destructive. So like you said, like we were talking earlier,
Yeah.
like the first step is acknowledging that there's a problem,
there's
right?
a problem.
And when you know
Yeah.
there's a problem, you can work on it. And I mean, people skills, they never stop. So
Yeah.
you might not be as far developed with interacting with people or people of the opposite sex,
Yeah.
or someone who you're interested in. But with time, again, just practice till you make it.
Till you make it. And that's a nice thing, because we've kind of talked about so many things,
Yes.
and we just found a segue into relationship and love, because that's also like just partly huge on my podcast, because all these things, like we've said,
Yeah.
you don't want to ignore one thing in life. We're trying to
course.
balance all these things.
Life is a tapestry. So
Yes.
it's all these different things interwoven.
Yes. And even like as you're saying, just growing into adulthood, there's so many other things that you start putting into consideration. If like who am I going to settle with?
Yeah.
What are some of the qualities I'm looking for in a lifetime partner?
Oh yeah.
Long-term plans. I mean, nobody wants to grow old and they don't have kids coming to visit them, or just
Yeah.
like that kind of like family interaction. We all
Exactly.
aspire to have
No, exactly.
that.
And I
So-
think, yeah, like even I was mentioning earlier, like it's so important who you are as a person, right? Because you could be like the most attractive person in the world, but your morals are not in the right place. You can't hold a conversation.
Yeah.
You're self-absorbed. You're, a rude person to people. Like you're not being with someone for you know, the aesthetic, but it's and I mean obviously it does definitely play a big part.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, you're really loving a person for who they are. So that's why I'm so big on self-development and self-growth, right? And I really feel like people who take that care and interest into being better people are the people who just in general I've always been attracted to. So the people who are ambitious, who are really kind, honest, I mean all the usual like family oriented, like those are the things that I feel people should focus on more when looking for a relationship, to someone to be in a relationship with or a partner. Yeah. So, any particular questions you want to know?
Oh, hey. I never thought you'd ask, but since you've asked,
Yes.
let's get into it. Because I just have a couple